Welcome guys. So in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this skater dress, or we say flared dress. You can see in the thumbnail with a wrap neckline for the upper part. So if you like to see that, keep on watching. So the thing I want to do now is to first of all cut out the skirt part of the clothes, because you can see that it has a joining at the waist. So for me to do get my round waist, right, round waist for this dress is 40 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 4, that's 10. I'll now add 2 inches to it, that's 12. So I'll now come here and look for 12 inches, like here. So this is the place I'm having 12 inches right here. So I'm going to mark this line here. So as I've marked this line here, I'll go ahead and place my tape from the beginning here and measure out the inches that is there. What I'm having here is 15. From the beginning to the end, that place that will mark that is 15 inches here. So I'm going to cut 15 inches round. This is what I'm going to use and get my round waist. So now that I've finished this, I'll go ahead and measure it, like confirm it, to make sure that it's going to be enough. So what I have here is 11.25, meaning what I'll be having is 43 inches, which is okay because the round waist is 40 inches. So this is going to be enough. But just in case you measure out here and then you confirm it that it's not enough, it means that you have to go lower. You get? So now we have gotten this place, we need to now come and measure the skirt length. So now we're going to cut the length of the outfit, right? So I'm going to start from my round waist. My round waist in this cloth is 19.5. So I'll place my tape at 19 inches because the 050 I'm adding there for sewing allowance. So I'll place it from this round waist that we've done, and then I'll go to the full length. The full length of this outfit is 55 inches, including the sewing allowance. I'll measure out the 56 round and then cut it out. So guys, this is the front skirt, so this is the back. So I want to cut out the back, but first of all I want to mark out my zip allowance for the back, right? And I'm using 1 inch. So I'm going to mark and then connect everything together. So you can see this 1 inch. This is from this 1 inch. I'll now place my front pattern to match with the back pattern, right? So you can see that when I place this here and then is at the end it joins together, it aligns with the back. I mean the front and back aligns together. This is what we'll have for the back side. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. I am also going to notch this place so I'll know where my zip allowance is. So cut out the down part of the back side and also slash open the center back, and then also notch the zip allowance at the down part. You can see I went ahead and opened up this the back side of the skirt. So I will also come here and notch the ending part of this skirt for my zip allowance, right? So sewing is easier. Then I will mark this so I can indicate the front and back, since this is a very similar, like the front and back fabric, there's no difference in the color. So now let's cut the upper part of the front top. The length of this top is going to be 22 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut the upper bust length, which is 7 inches, bust length, which is 11, then waist length, which is 19, and then the same thing as the full length. So I'll go ahead and measure the same thing again and then cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark my shoulder. My shoulder is 8 inches. That's 16 divided by 2, 8. So I'll add 1 inch, which is 9 inches. I'll mark it on the upper at the shoulder here, and also I'll mark 9 inches at the upper bust length. At this same upper bust length, I'm going to go ahead and mark my round bust. My round bust is 48 divided by 4 is 12. So I added 2 inches sewing allowance here. The next thing we are going to do now is to mark our dart. At the bust length, I'll mark 4.5 here, and then I'll also mark the same thing at the full length. So I'll connect these together, right? So at this bust here, I'll come down by 1.5 inches and mark it here. So at the full length here, right, I'm going to mark my bust, sorry, my dart is 1 inch in and out. If you have a smaller bust, you can use 050 or even 075. So now we have marked our round bust at the upper bust length. We're not going to mark it at the bust length, so I'll come to the full length here, right? And then I'm going to mark my waist measurement. So I'm going to mark my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. Remember our dart here is 2 inches, so I'm going to come here and mark that 2 inches here. Then I'll now do 2 inches as sewing allowance, main measurement to main measurement. So this is the sewing allowance. So I'll also go ahead and connect here, and then I am going to mark this out. So this is what we have. So at this bust length, I am also going to mark my dart here. So I'm going to have 1 inch here. I want to have both bust dart and waist dart. So this is what I have. At this bust length, I'm going to go in here by 1.5 inches here. So I'm going to connect this dart that we did here and stop it at this 1.5 inches that we marked at the bust length. I hope you're following me. If not, pause this video and rewatch it again. So this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark out my neckline style, which is a wrap. So I am going to go in at this shoulder by 4 inches. I am going to come down here by say 5 inches because this is a wrap. So I will leave this like this for now. And then here at the shoulder, I'm going to come down by 1 inch and then connect this shoulder to this place. This is what we are having. So let me go ahead and cut the armhole out. This is the only place that we are cutting out. So now I've cut this out, I'll go ahead and open up this outfit, and then I'm going to measure this out. I want my wrap at this side to start at the under bust length, and her under bust length is 16. So I am going to use let's say 16 here. This is what I'm going to use here. So from here, I will now, for these 4 inches that went in here, I will now connect it straight down. I want to make it open a bit this way. So this is what I am having for the neckline. So I'll go ahead. If you watch at this side there, I didn't bring this line all the way to this end because I have 2 inches sewing allowance, right? So I stopped this at the 2 inches so that we can have our sewing allowance here. I hope you understand what I mean. So let me cut it out. So I'll use this one now because this is one part of the wrap. I'll use this and place on top of the another material and cut out the second of the wrap side. Let us cut the back side. As you can see, I didn't remove this shoulder slant here, so I want to cut the back side with this first before I will now cut out the shoulder slant. And guys, so this is for the back pattern. I've gone ahead to mark this zip allowance. What I have here is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to put my front fabric to match up with the back. So what I'm going to do now is to cut this out. So for this back side, I am going to just, for the neckline, look at where the front is starting from. Yeah, so I'm just going to cut this out. The back is just going to be normal. So this is what I'm going to have for the back. So now I've done this, I'll now go ahead and cut this slant for both the back and the front. Keep this aside, and then I'll come in here at the waist for the back, go in by 150, 1.5. Then I'll take my tape and measure at this end. I'm going to start here and then take it in to the full length, 1.5. This is going to make sure that I don't have any, your zip stays very flat and there are no foldings, you have perfect fit. I'll go ahead and notch this 1.5 here to indicate the zip allowance. I will then go ahead and remark the 1.5 again. Now you can see that the back is no more straight. It is going to be curvy. And because we have the dart measurement in this thing, in this outfit, we know that for the pants pattern, we know that it will be enough for the back side. So this is your new zip line. This is your new zip line. So I'll go ahead and notch it. So this is the two patterns, how it is. You can see I've gone ahead to cut it. Yeah, so now we'll cut the facing and then we'll go and couple it up. Here I am using my remaining fabric. This is the only fabric I have. You know, the sleeve I did for her is just good. That is what is remaining. Yeah, so I just did the basic sleeve. Yeah, so this is me cutting out the sleeve. I went down by 3 inches, slanted in at 45 degrees by 3 inches, and also 3 inches from the center, right, so that I can get my round armhole. If you want to know how to draft the sleeve, basic sleeve, right, just let me know. So at this point I headed to sew the outfit. So from here you can see that I've joined the facing of the front and the back, right. I've also joined the back together at the zip allowance side, rather at the center back. So now I place the front to overlay the back side of the fabric so that I can take my measurements, my round bust, my round waist, and then I'm going to sew it down. Then you can also resize your round armhole. Next thing I did was to join the skirt. I joined the skirt at the back of the skirt at the center back, right. So after I finished doing that, I'm now placing the skirt, the front pattern to overlay on the back side so that I can also take my measurement. I'm going to take my measurement, my round waist, and then I will sew it down. This dress also has pockets, so I'm also going to fix the pockets to it. Here I am sewing the upper part of this dress. You can see the places that I mark the shock. I'm sewing everything down. So the next thing I'm going to do now is that, remember that this outfit has a waist, a bust dart. So by the time we have sewn that it is going to shorten the front length of the pattern. So if you're sewing this cloth, the back, if your back's the back side of the top, like right, the length is longer than the front, it is normal because of the bust darts that we've made, right. So the next thing I'm doing is to cut out my real waist length. My waist length here is 19, so I'm going to add 050 sewing allowance, right. So I'm cutting out 19.5. When I cut that out, remember that when I was drafting this outfit, I used length 22 so that it contained my sewing allowance and everything, right. So now I get my actual length. Now I'll now turn to the back of my outfit. To have a very fitted outfit, I'm going to measure 1 inch from the center back, right. I'm just going to measure only the back, not the front. When I measure 1 inch up at the center back, I'm going to mark it, right. Then I'll connect it to the side. So for your back pattern, sorry, your top pattern, the back is shorter than the front. Then you can go ahead and resize your armhole. If your round armhole that you're having at this point doesn't coincide with the armhole of the client. After doing that, I went ahead to join the down part to the upper part and also join the sleeve to the top part, and then the outfit is ready. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial.